Everyone. Today we are going to go over a couple more examples from the assignment yesterday regarding Joe Biden and Donald Trump and seeing what their stances are on a few different issues. So today we're going to start with the economy. Okay, that has been a big talking point on President Trump's part, so I feel like it should be addressed as to what each candidate is proposing to do. So we'll go ahead and start by reading Donald Trump's stance on this, and then we'll go back to our organizer. From 2010 through early 2020, the U.S. economy experienced strong growth. Then came the coronavirus pandemic. Last spring, most businesses across the country temporarily shut down to contain the spread of the virus. As a result, the economy is now in its worst downturn in roughly a century. Though many businesses have since resumed operations, experts expect the economy to rebound slowly. They say that many businesses won't ever reopen, and that it's likely that millions of job losses will be permanent. During the pandemic, President Trump has signed several bills giving trillions of dollars in aid to businesses and Americans. That helped many families to afford food and rent, and companies to stay in business. He has also supported opening up the country sooner rather than later to bring back jobs and boost the economy. Health officials have continued to express concern that opening businesses too early could lead to the virus spreading. Many states have seen spikes in COVID-19 cases after businesses reopen, in no small part because of the loosened restrictions, health experts say. Overall, the economy has been a major focus of Trump's presidency. He has claimed responsibility for the booming U.S. economy before the pandemic, which featured record low unemployment for Black and Latinx people. In general, when it comes to strengthening the economy, Trump supports fewer regulations on businesses and providing tax cuts to give businesses and Americans more money to spend. In 2017, he signed a major bill into law and reduced taxes for Americans and corporations. Okay, so I know there's a lot to kind of unpack there. So we're going to head back to the organizer here. And under issue 3, we're going to say, we'll rewrite this and say economy, except spell it correctly. Economy. All right. So basically what it's saying about Donald Trump is that Trump has signed stimulus bills to provide money for families during the pandemic. This, a lot of families had one or maybe both people out of work due to businesses shutting down, and so this was to kind of help pay bills and things like that until the economy could open back up. Right. He also pushed for a quick reopen in order to get the economy on track. He supports few regulations and low taxes on companies. Okay, so his thought is that companies are the entities that provide jobs, and if we can help the companies, that will create more jobs, which when people are working, that's usually a good indicator about how well the economy is doing. Okay, so let's take a look at what Joe Biden has to say about the economy. Again, first paragraph is the same as the first paragraph in Trump's. So we'll move on to the second paragraph. Joe Biden believes that to save the economy, the U.S. government must provide businesses more help to safely reopen. He says the federal government should pay for workers called back to their jobs to get tested for the virus and also cover the cost of sick leave if they need time off because they are infected. Biden says he will hold businesses accountable for following safety standards to protect workers. He also pledges to create a national group to trace the personal contacts of people who become infected, something health officials say is critical to containing the virus. When it comes to strengthening the economy and adding jobs in the long term, a key part of Biden's plan is the launch of major building projects. For example, he wants to invest $1.3 trillion over 10 years to upgrade the nation's transportation systems, schools, and more. Biden supports increasing federal minimum wage from $7.25 per hour to $15 per hour and raising taxes on the wealthiest Americans and big corporations. So, Joe Biden pushes for a slow reopening of businesses, emphasizing safety. He really wants to make sure that businesses are doing things correctly, that they're doing things safely, in order to make sure that their employees are not getting sick. Okay. He also wants to spend money on transportation and schools. Supports higher taxes on the wealthy and corporations. So they're talking like big companies like Walmart and Amazon, things like that. He wants minimum wage. Wage raised from $7.25 to $15. Okay, so definitely some different approaches here on the economy. Okay, but that is a big talking point. A lot of times when you hear the debates or anything like that, there's the economy definitely comes up a lot of times. Okay, so we'll do one last one. All right, issue 4, and we're going to focus on healthcare. Okay, again, this is a topic that Biden likes to bring up. So we talked about one that Trump likes to bring up, and we'll talk about one that Biden likes to bring up and see how they compare on this issue. Okay, so here's what Donald Trump says. Millions of Americans lack health insurance, which is a plan that helps people pay their medical bills. And many of those who do have health insurance struggle to afford it. The coronavirus pandemic has highlighted the importance of making affordable healthcare accessible to all Americans. The last major change to the healthcare system took place a decade ago when the Affordable Care Act, ACA, was signed into law. It has helped millions of Americans get health insurance. Still, the law has been criticized for being too costly for many Americans, including by President Donald Trump. Trump says he wants the ACA repealed and replaced with something better. Since he took office, he has successfully worked to weaken the law. For example, he eliminated a penalty that required people to pay a fee for not having health insurance. The president has also expanded access to other kinds of health plans for small businesses and extended the amount of time people can have in short-term health plans. Okay, so one of the biggest things that Trump, we'll go healthcare. Trump has worked to weaken the Affordable Care Act, commonly referred to as Obamacare, and still would like to get rid of it and replace it. Okay, so let's take a look at what Joe Biden says. Okay, so again, first 2 paragraphs are the same. So we'll start with the third one. While many Republican officials want to repeal the law, Joe Biden says that he wants to protect and improve it. He says that as president, he would work to bring the cost of the ACA insurance plans down for more people. He also wants to create an entirely new healthcare plan that anyone could join, called a public option, which would be provided by the government rather than by a private insurance company. Currently, health insurance policies are sold only by private companies. Right, so Biden wants to improve the Affordable Care Act instead of getting rid of it. He just wants to. He likes the system, but there are some improvements made. He also wants to give people an option to buy health insurance from the government. Okay, so anytime you buy health insurance, it's from a specific private company. And he wants to give them people an option to buy it from the government. A lot of people have been opposed to this in the past. So we'll see, kind of how that works out, in his election bid. Okay. So now that we have done 4 of these topics, that pretty much wraps up the big part of this assignment. But the part that you need to do now, you need to go back and read through what you read or wrote about each topic. You need to either put a plus or a minus in each of these boxes, indicating what you agree with and what you disagree with. Okay? If you disagree with this person, then you put a minus. If you agree, then you put a plus. Okay, so this should be able to, or it should allow you to finish this assignment and get it turned in. It is due tonight by midnight.